to Aunties Talk Sports.
I'm KB. The courts of Indiana raised me, Detroit pays me, and I know ball both on and off the court, so don't underestimate me.
And I'm Jen. Financial statements, I know how to read them. Fantasy sports, I know how to play them. Tough calls, I know how to make them.
Whether you're heading home, headed to happy hour, or just getting ready for another weekend of sports,
we've got you covered with the biggest stories, the hottest takes, plenty of laughs, and just enough friendly debate.
From Detroit to the national stage, if it's worth talking about, we talking about it.
So grab your favorite drink,
pull up a chair,
because this is your sports happy hour.
2 aunties,
2 mics,
all game.
KB, hey KB, what up, though?
Hey Jen, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you this fine evening?
Well, I will say, be a little bit transparent. This auntie is tired, okay? So, first day back to school for the youngest, up early, turning over a new leaf this year, and we are riding bikes to and from school, which is, I'm really excited about that. As an urban planner, makes my heart happy not to have to drive, but that does mean that, we have to get up early, be prepared, get everything together. Because today we left a few things, and so I had to come home and go back. So that's not going to work in the future.
Oh, wow. Oh, I forgot my book bag. You might need that.
Right. She forgot her glasses. So I came home, got the glasses, and took them back, which is funny because little baby is severely nearsighted. So I'd be like, girl, you cannot see, you cannot read when you don't have your glasses on.
Oh, but man. Yeah, so I saw your video. You were in my old stomping grounds. I grew up over there. I went to JSU, and we had our 40th class reunion on Saturday. Man, JSU was that's my foundation. So a lot of what you know about me as an adult, it's because I got the foundation at JSU, because I hated high school, but grade school, I loved it. Loved seeing my classmates. And so, yeah, it was great to see you riding over in my old neighborhood. And then you said she goes to Marygrove. Marygrove was at the corner of my street growing up. So, I just love it. I might bring my bike over there and ride with y'all one day because, I want to relive, some things as an auntie.
Yeah. So was your reunion at the school at JSU?
No, it was actually on Livernois at a place called nice little place called Pequeño Cantina. Little Mexican. Yeah. I had never been there. Like I said, I grew up over there, and there's so many new restaurants and everything over there that I've never been to. I need to go over there more often. It was really cool. It was really great to see everybody. I apparently I was, I got this cup made, and it was specially made for me because I was like one of the first ones to register for the reunion. And remember, I was telling you about my friend that makes the specialty products. She made it. She's my grade school classmate. That's what. So shout out to Tiffany. It was funny you were talking about glasses, because one of the reasons I didn't do well in grade school was because I was supposed to wear glasses. But I was embarrassed because my glasses were welfare glasses, and they were really thick, and so I wouldn't wear them. And so I, couldn't see the board and got some bad grades. But I would go home and read the book and learn how to, like math, for instance. They would use the overhead projector. And I would go home and read the book and learn how to do math on my own with,
Mhm.
and so when I got to high school, I had pre-algebra in the 8th grade. So when I got to
Mhm.
high school and had pre-algebra or algebra, I knew how to do it. And my teacher was
Mhm.
like, "How do you know how to do this?" I was like, "I had this in 8th grade." She was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." But so math was always my favorite. But yeah, the glasses. Yeah, Cam, get those glasses. Don't be like Aunt Jen. Be better than me.
Yes, we are. And just keeping up with glasses when you have kids who have to wear them it's a full-time job. But what high school did you go to, Jen?
Girl, why you gotta ask? Why you gotta bring up old stuff? I went to Cooley.
Okay.
Cooley, Cooley High.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I should have. I lived in the Mumford neighborhood. I should have gone to Mumford, but my sister went to Cooley, and I followed her because I was a follower, not a leader. And but I didn't like high school. But here's the thing: I met some great people there that I never would have met, and so um, there are some things that I don't regret. And I had great teachers. Shout out to Miss Stoner, who was my math teacher, and made me love math even more. Miss Tobin made us read books. But yeah, Cooley. I went to Cooley. But Jeju is where it all began. Everything, all my values and morals and stuff. My whole family went to Jeju, and they, at the time I didn't appreciate it, but it laid a really good
Mhm.
foundation.
No, that's great. I was really thinking, I mean, I think people know my mother was a teacher for 30 years, and I really believe that instrumental teachers, passionate teachers, loving and caring teachers, those memories stay with you forever. I can still recall my fourth grade teacher, Dr. Lackey, my first grade teacher, my sixth grade teacher. Like you said, high school is a little fuzzy. Like I remember some people, but I don't necessarily remember the teachers there really pouring into me, but definitely in elementary school. And actually, shout out to Mrs. Wilkerson, one of my elementary school teachers, my sixth grade teachers, is one of my Facebook friends. And she's always
Mm-hmm.
liking and commenting and still supporting me all these years later. So, teachers are God's favorite. I believe that because Lord have mercy. Every time I'm at that school, I tell my kids' teacher, God bless you, because I do not have the patience for any of this. None
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
and those who may not know, JU is a Catholic school. I grew up Catholic, and um, there's a thing called JUGS. I forget what the acronym is. It's an acronym, but basically it's
Mhm.
detention. And let's say justice under
Just
God, something, yeah, justice, really. But let me just say, I got my fair share of JUGS because I was the one that laughed at everything. My favorite thing to do is laugh. So nothing has changed. And my friends, I had one silly friend, and I would laugh, and I would get jugs. I had to stay after school, and yeah.
they
But
still do jugs. Jugs are alive and well. I hear a lot of
oh,
my friends, they have sons who are at UAD, University of Detroit Jesuit High School, and the boys still complain about jugs. So that tradition is alive and well. But yeah, we are in your old neighborhood, your old stomping grounds. We live 2 blocks away from Jeju and go over to that park several times a week. So, yeah,
I'm gonna meet you over there. I got to. I got to.
I'll tell the little one, but obviously you were busy this weekend, but I know you still watch sports. So what were you
Yes,
watching this weekend?
of course, a lot of WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
I still am not watching preseason football, but I did see that Detroit won. They beat the Commanders, but it's preseason, so I'm not even about
Mm-hmm.
to go all into it. Um, I was watching, saw seeing different players changing teams, and we'll talk more about that. DeMar DeRozan, Clay Thompson, all that. I saw your video this weekend. Um, did not see the match with Coco Gauff, but saw it like right after it happened, and how she when there one the 80-year-old woman was in the crowd and it was her birthday, and she went over and gave her a racket, and that was really cool. So I can't I watch a lot of sports while I'm doing other work, so even it's always on. It's just always on, or whatever. So I was into a little bit of everything. I didn't watch the Tigers, but I saw that they lost a couple of games. I'm sorry, Tigers. That's why I wasn't gonna mention them last week, because I'm a bad luck charm, I think, with them, because they now they start losing again. I was like, oh no. So yeah, I was watching some of everything. What about you?
Definitely keeping up with the WNBA. Also just watching a lot of clips. A lot of, we both love tennis, but definitely was paying a close attention to the Cincinnati Open, which I think has become pretty much the premier tennis event in the Midwest. We've gone a few times. Yeah, just really excited, I think, for fall, probably college football. Planning on going to Michigan's homecoming this year. So excited to see how that team comes together with the new coach. So yeah, lots happening, lots percolating. It's always something to watch. It's always something to listen to. It's always clips. It really is a 24-hour news cycle for sports.
Yes, I agree. So I said I was watching a lot of WNBA.
Mhm.
That's the hot thing for me this summer, because that's I spent my summers immersed in WNBA. There were a lot of storylines. There were a few records set this past week
Mhm.
that I love to see. That unfortunately, and we'll talk about that part a little bit later, but they got overshadowed
Mhm.
because of ignorance. But Angel Reese, um, continuing her double tear, and I want to say she missed the last second shot against Indiana. It was on the 16th, and since then she's been in her bag. She has been unstoppable, and she said she couldn't sleep after that game. She knew she should have made that easy bunny, but she's come out. She's had what 21-10. She said, of course they're all double doubles. 21
Mhm.
10, 20-10, 31-14. She is the energizer of that team, the consistent player of that team. So shout out to her. Um, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell also set records. And so it was just, and I'll talk about this. So Caitlin Clark, she set the all-time uh, WNBA record for securing her 5th career game with at least 30 points and 10 assists.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she was, you know, she was. They played against Chicago. Was it last night? And she was all over the place. Of course, she's always flopping, so
Mhm.
it's hard to root for her. Like, she'll push somebody and then flail back. It's like really, really comical, ridiculous. But she's been playing really well. She's actually stayed on the court. She hasn't been hurt and all that. She's been feeding Kelsey Mitchell, and so the 10 assists, that's big. She's feeding her teammates. So even when she's not shooting well, she's feeding her teammates. I want to say though that when she scores a lot of points, I noticed that it's been against losing teams with the losing
Mhm.
record, and that to me is very telling. Whereas Kelsey Mitchell has set the record. She broke the WNBA record for most consecutive games, scoring 20 plus points. And even last night, even against Chicago, I think at halftime she had like 7 points. They were like, "Is she gonna get 20?" Yeah, she's gonna get 20. She had 30 some points. Like, don't play with her. Don't play with her.
Yeah.
That's
I,
nothing. And so she's got 22 straight games with scoring 20 plus points. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
in her bag.
I don't want to belabor the point, uh, but I think what is so confusing to me, and I had this conversation with my oldest, which was like, what what qualifies someone as an MVP candidate? That was our conversation. And she was like, well, why is this person considered an MVP candidate? And why this isn't this person considered an MVP candidate? And I think one of the things that's disappointing for me, given the run that Kelsey Mitchell has been on, is if Caitlin Clark is considered a legitimate MVP candidate, discounting her popularity, discounting kind of what's happening in the world in the moment, why isn't Kelsey Mitchell's name being thrown out there as well? I mean, if we're just talking about on court performance, right? Kelsey has been more consistent, throughout the course of the season, no injuries. So I just wonder, all I can say is I feel like Kelsey Mitchell is one hell of a person. Because if it was
Well,
anybody else, I think
well,
people would be upset, right? Like that she's not getting her just due. She's not getting her shine.
wait. Well, everything that I hear, she is in the running. It's Caitlin Clark that's not mentioned in those Asia Wilson, Kelsey Mitchell conversations, and that's what the uproar has been.
Well, what
So
I've
Kelsey
been,
Mitchell is in
yeah,
everybody's running, as far as I know.
Matt,
I mean, I haven't
yeah.
seen anybody who's discounting Kelsey Mitchell. Not this year.
No. Well, some of the images I've seen floating around social media, some of the conversations more so on social media haven't been about Kelsey Mitchell. They've been mostly about Caitlin in the MVP race. Of course, I also saw it was like an image, her, Paige, Asia, Olivia. I think those were the four, which I don't think Paige is
I
a
guess I
legit.
guess you got to see what the source is. Like Linda Combs, she's still out there yapping, talking, running her, popping her gums, like bumping her gums. Like, girl, shut up. Like, she acts like Caitlin Clark is like the best ever. It is so ridiculous. Like, ugh. I liked you back when you were working for ESPN and weren't saying anything. Um, but no, it's Asia Wilson, it's Asia Wilson, Kelsey Mitchell, Olivia Miles, and Caitlin Clark is starting to be mentioned, but no, I look, I don't know. I haven't seen Kelsey Mitchell not be in everybody's
And maybe the
in
difference
their
is,
one of their
yeah,
tops.
I hear people talk about her tear and her run, but I just haven't heard her name mentioned as much. But again, that could be for WNBA. I'm watching and looking more so on social media and on
Oh yeah, okay. See, I'm watching the
verse.
games. They're
Yeah,
talking all about it in the games, and then yeah.
I'll
No,
watch
you
the
got to go
games.
to
Yeah, I'll watch the games, but I'm not like I don't. And it's probably because the person that I used to live with would turn down the noise.
Did you just say?
I'm just saying. So I don't really I don't really hear the commentary. I'll watch the game, but I won't listen to the in-game commentary. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, one thing I like about Indiana's games aren't on League Pass, and so they're
Mhm.
always on national television. So they have a slant, and it's usually Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Rucco. Oh
Mhm.
gosh, talk about glazing. Um, And but on the League Pass app, you can stream which team you want. You know,
Mhm.
so if Atlanta's playing Indiana, you could stream the Atlanta version or the Indiana version. So
Mhm.
I like that part too because you get more insight into the players. Um, but no, I don't. I'm not always listening to what the announcers are saying,
Mhm.
but um when Kelsey's cooking, there, I mean, she's getting her props this year, and rightfully so. I would. I think the only reason I don't know why they want Kelsey Mitchell and Kate. I think they want them to be like co MVP, like the one always the 1-2 punch. It's not, it can never be Kelsey alone. It always has to be
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey and Caitlin. That's one thing
Yeah.
that I don't like. Why Paige is even in the conversation, I don't know. I wouldn't put her in the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
But I will say she did set a record too. Uh, uh, she tied the WNBA shooting record by going 6 for 6 from 3-point range, and well, she didn't set the record; she tied the record
Yeah.
without a miss. So,
And she broke, I think,
um,
one of Caitlin's records too last
yeah,
week, like first quickest to certain number of points or what have you. But I mean, I
yeah.
think I don't know. I don't see any. I feel like it's tiers to this, and I feel like you have Asia Wilson and Olivia Miles who are like tier one, maybe Kelsey Mitchell a little bit behind that, and then I think everyone else is just, good fodder to like get people talking. But I will say ESPN ran a really great story about Angel Reese last week and just her evolution as a player, her rebounding and kind of a lot of different perspectives on why she's such a great rebounder. And they pointed to really just her motor and her passion. Very similar to Dennis Rodman, right? Not the biggest, not the strongest, but more relentless than everybody else. They talked about just her ability, her quick reflexes, and her ability to take up a lot of space. But the other thing I wonder is, and we don't talk a lot about it, but people have talked about Bam, obviously, and Asia because their relationship is more public, but they talk very, lovingly about one another, but also talk about the influence, right, that they've had on each other's game, right? Pushing each other to be better, pushing each other to, you know, put in the work. And, there's lots of clips out there about them going at it, backing each other down, playing defense on each other. And I think, one of the things that hasn't really been talked about is, and I'm not saying that her boyfriend is the reason why she has developed a lot, because people know Lisa Leslie worked with her as well, but I think Angel Reese is happy on and off the court. She's in a better, with a better organization. She's got a lot of support down there in Atlanta, but her boyfriend is also in the NBA, right? So
Well, that's another thing. If you watch the games or after the games, he's there. Like they do the when Atlanta wins, they have a win cam
mhm.
in the tunnel leading from the court to the locker room, and they put W's in the chat, and you'll see him walk by, and he does it. Her mother does it, so he's there, and then she's starting to mention him more
Mhm.
in like because at first she didn't want a public relationship because when she was in college she had a public relationship. She said she was never going to make it public, but now she's like my love and not, so yes, she's in
Yeah,
love,
you know,
and and uh and she's
she's
getting love. She's receiving the love that she should have had in Chicago.
yeah,
um
yeah,
you know Win, lose, or draw, and they're winning. They just clinched the playoff spot.
playoff spot.
And so now she's in the playoffs for the first time in her career. So that I'm very
Yeah.
happy for her. I love Angel.
Yeah, but I think it makes a difference, right? It's like you're in a relationship with someone who's in your same field, right? It's his off season. He's working out, he's eating right. They can talk ball with one another, pointers. He's a post player, and she had made a comment on one podcast about like, does she cook? And she slipped up and was like, no, we have a chef, right? So it's like those little things,
As
right?
she should, as they
Right.
should.
Add to your performance. And so I think
Yeah.
it's still, up from here, but I'm really happy for her because she's taken a lot, all the way going back to LSU. Let's not forget the death threats and everything else. And so just to see her kind of put that behind her and just be able to be in an environment where she's balling out and she's getting the love and the recognition that she deserves and the money, right? The coiny that she deserves is a good thing.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments from the WNBA this past week, and I can't end this show without, this segment without saying Sydney MF and Taylor. Okay? Let me tell you something. Chicago Sky rookie, undrafted rookie, Sydney Taylor. She's my favorite rookie. I know everybody loves Olivia Miles, but Sydney Taylor is my favorite. Not just because she's on my fantasy team, but but undrafted. She, game last week against the Golden State Valkyries. Who are the Golden State Valkyries? Maybe the second best record in the WNBA. Okay. Comes down. They're down by 3. She hits the tying shot, and then she comes down and hits the game winner with like 0.6 seconds left, and she jumps up. I don't know. You probably saw the picture or the video where she jumps up and Natasha Cloud catches her, and but there's 0.6 seconds left, so they're like, okay, hold on, they can still. So Golden State took the last second shot, they missed it, but that's not the first time she's done that, right? So she set a record too. She made history too. She became the first rookie in WNBA history to hit multiple go-ahead three-pointers in a single season with under a second remaining on the clock. That's called ice water in your veins. Not only that, the team OG Vandersloot had the ball, and she looked like she was about to shoot the 3, but she passed it. Sid called for the ball, and she passed it to her, and she hit it. Now, when vets let the rookies, Olivia Miles, Sydney Taylor, when they trust the rookie to take that last second shot, that tells you something. Yeah. I will. She's my favorite rookie, and just I like an underdog type, story. But to be undrafted, I can't imagine. I have to go back and figure out why she didn't get drafted. Like, I'm just tripping. Like, what happened? And there's a lot of reasons why, but she's here now. She's in Chicago, and so shout out to Sydney Taylor.
Yes, yes. And I think, at least for me, this weekend showed just the caliber of play, the exciting storylines, the exciting games. And as Sophie Cunningham said, can we just report and talk about that? But there always has to be a jerk lurking, trying to take
and she only
away.
said that after she caused an uproar.
Right. But it's like, some people are talking about Sydney Taylor's, performance, but other people are talking about Enes Kanter, right? And for me, it just shows that the W is blowing up, it's growing, and now you have just the leeches that are trying to attach to that momentum and build off of that momentum for their own kind of gain, right? And so you had the gentleman who threw the, sex toy, on the floor. Now you have Enes Kanter. And I think it's just really, it says something about them as men, that you don't have your own motion, you don't have something else going on in your life, but you are trying to make yourself matter, right, through this. And I love the fact that now you have other men checking them, other men holding them accountable, right? Evan Turner was like, "What's up? Like, why are you doing this, dude?" You had Ocho Cinco, Shannon Sharp, Joe Johnson. Like, dude, you didn't have this much motion when you was in the NBA. Right. And so now you see this as your moment, and it's really sad. And I don't know, but I put my money on Natasha McLeod in a fight because
Yeah.
she didn't back down, wasn't afraid, and it was given. If you step over this line, you gonna be mine. I'm ready to go. Like so, hopefully. But no, I was gonna say, hopefully the W's leadership can kind of help to, tap down a little bit of what's happening. But we need a ticker out there. Where's Cheryl? Or how many more days until Cheryl gets fired? I want to see that on our social media because, baby, there should be no way that she keeps her job after this season. No way. No way.
So a lot of people may not know that Enos Cantor is a leech. You know, that he is a leech. He leeches on to what's popular
Mm-hmm.
to get his name. The WNBA, he criticized LeBron James and Michael Jordan back in
Mm-hmm.
the day, and the WNBA is more popular than it has ever been. The
Mm-hmm.
All-Star game set a record. They had higher attendance than the NBA All-Star games, right? Or that weekend. So he is not only that. You have the jerks. There were about, I think, since in the past couple of years, there's been like 5 people that have thrown sex toys on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And Joy Taylor. A lot of people don't like Joy Taylor, but she was like, "So you stuck this in your pants, pulled it out, and threw it
Right,
on the
right,
court, walked
right.
into a game, pulled
Mm-hmm.
it out, and threw it on the court. One of the sex toys hit a little 12-year-old girl. And they asked one of the guys why he did it. He was like, "I was just trying to go viral." Like, really? Like, losers. Those are some losers who have they don't have no emotion at home. They don't they can't have an emotion at home. They cannot have people at home wait for them to come home after they threw
You can't be.
a dildo out on the
Can
court.
you can't be in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? You
No,
you must not have nobody because can you
no.
imagine having a
No
girlfriend or
friends,
a
no family.
boyfriend or a wife or something? It's like, what
Yeah.
you do this weekend? Oh, I threw this dildo
Like
out and be like,
like
man,
whose
but
man's is this? Whose man's is
right,
this?
right.
Like, what are y'all doing?
But I think also which a little known fact because I didn't know. You probably knew this because you are a sports trivia person too. But I had no idea that Joy Taylor was Jason Taylor's little sister.
He don't claim her because they got all the. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
she was on, I think, All the Smoke, and she was sharing a story about how one of his teammates tried to holler at her, and then it went bad
yeah.
because he saw her, I think, at a game or something, and Jason was like, "Man, that's my little sister. Don't try to holler, don't try to holler at her." And then he slid into her DMs or something, and so she told that story, and of course, the comments was lit up, right,
Yeah.
about that. But no, I didn't
Jason
really.
Taylor being the Miami, I say Miami Dolphins legend,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
Miami
football
Dolphins,
player,
that's right.
because because that's what I liked him.
Yeah, yeah, Pro
Yeah,
Bowler, Hall of Fame defensive end, but
yeah,
and then his sister was involved in some controversy during her time, Joy at ESPN, about
yeah. Just
kind of,
allegedly.
yeah, allegedly sleeping her way kind of to the top, or to near the top. But I'm trying to think what else I saw. Of course, he's not my fave, but Deshaun Watson this weekend and his comments. And if I would have had a tomato in my hand, I would have threw it at the TV. How dare you? I'm so glad that those Cleveland fans tore him a new one. I cannot believe that he called himself being critical of the fans because he expected more cheers than boos. Like, come on now. You ain't been around.
Um, the Cleveland fans are, I would liken them to Detroit fans. We're Midwest, we blue collar, we don't play, right? They signed him $230 million contract, and then he's been out for 2 years. He comes back. He's in a quarterback competition with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel,
Mm-mm.
and and Deshaun Watson was named the starter. And the coach said, hey, he's got the veteran experience. They have 2 road games to start the season. They play
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville and Tampa Bay, and that was a factor in it. He and Shedeur Sanders were kind of neck and neck in their stats in the preseason, but he was named the starter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long he'll be the starter. Well, on the road, I don't. They might boom on the road. They're going to get into his head where he's not going to be the starter for long. I'm predicting that now. You can't turn out that noise when they go home and the home crowd is booing you.
Yeah.
They might as well cut their losses.
Right, but he has 1 year left on his contract. I think he's out of there. He's out of there. But
Oh yeah,
you
yeah, he's
gotta
out of there.
start him. I mean, just as a franchise, you done paid all this money for him. Your number two was basically undrafted. So you gotta at least make it seem like you put your money where your mouth is. But to me, that was more so about the business aspect of it and standing by what now we see as a poor decision to pay him all this money than it was about Shedeur. But you can also tell that Shedeur, I believe, is playing more so the long game. He's got the media eating out the palm of his hands. He's saying all the
Yes.
right things. He's communicating with a lot of humility, right? And just talking about his connection with the fans. And now you have your number one quarterback basically saying, I'm back, bitches. and this is how
Yeah.
and this is how
But
you
you know
all
what?
welcome
As
me.
if you're Deshaun Watson, what are you supposed to say? You know, you he's got to have some ego. I can't.
He should have.
The Cleveland Browns are known for effing up. Okay, they come on now. It's the Cleveland Browns. They do this. That's their track record. Okay, they never should have signed him. First of all, you signed him. You didn't know. They didn't know what his suspension was going to be because he was going to be suspended, which he was promptly suspended. Uh, uh, and then they didn't know. And then he hurt him. He tore his ACL. Then he re-injured, and
His
so he's been out
Achilles.
for 2 years. Yes, his Achilles. 200. They never should have signed him for that amount of money. And now you have the business side of sports creeps in once again and makes a team that already makes stupid mistakes look even crazier. But I don't think that they had. I mean, I guess you could say that they had to because they sunk all this money, but the money you already sunk the money now. Like
No, no,
it is what
come
it
on,
is. He's
come on,
not going to
Jen.
be the starter. He's not going to be. I want to know how long of a leash he's going to have. If he doesn't come out guns a blazing and making them forget that he has that track record, has that past,
He
they
ain't.
gotta sit him down. We're
No,
gonna
but
see.
Jen,
We'll see. He better stop talking, and throw the damn ball,
that's
and
right.
make these people stop booing you. Make them stop booing you, because what you're saying, they're gonna
Ain't
boo you even more.
that's right. But I want you to break down what a sunk cost is, Miss Accountant.
If they paid him, well, my version that I was using is they paid him, so you've already spent the money, and so whether he plays or not, you if he's got a guaranteed contract, you've already spent the money. So don't feel obligated to play him if you still have to pay the money. Hey, you already spent the money. That's already a sunk cost. That's my definition.
That's the definition.
That's my definition of it in this instance. Yeah.
So that is the
money that you have to pay regardless of if he plays or not.
Yeah, so that is the perfect intersection of the accountant side of you and the sports side of you. It's like that sunk cost, that's money that you done already spent. So don't keep making mistakes. But that's the point, right? You made a mistake, you paid him the money, but don't keep making the mistakes because you already paid him the money. But you said, what else should he be doing? Right? He should come back a little bit more humble. That's what I gathered. It's like they took a chance on you, which, as you said, they shouldn't have paid the money. This is supposed to be turn the page. The whole legal aspect continued to linger. He had more allegations. You hurt. You're out. You're supposed to be rehabbing. I think he gets married, right? Flashy, all this stuff on social media. The wife is trying to launch a pop career. No, he should have been showing himself grinding.
Been defending him, but I don't think what he said was so bad. He said, because what he said was true. He's like, they're not booing the performer so much, they're booing it because of personal reasons. They are.
Yes.
They're booing him for personal.
Yes.
So what he said was so what he said was true. It was true.
But from a PR standpoint, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. If anything, he should have came out and said, "Hey, it hurts a little bit.
$230 million out this organization. The contriteness is over."
Which is the reason why he should have been more contrite, because they paid him all this money. So fans want to hear, "Thank you for taking a risk on me." Right. And then I got hurt. I'm back. I'm here to earn your trust. I'm here to show you that I want to be here. I'm here to perform, to show you that I've been working.
That's not who he is.
Well, hell,
that's
and that's the problem. That's why his career
He's not trying to get no TV deal after he plays. He's taking his $230 million and going home.
Well, then,
he's not trying for that post-career move, where he's trying to audition for his next career. He's not doing that.
I don't think that's about your next career. That's about the position that he's in now. This man has never produced on the field at a level that's commensurate with the hype that surrounded him. And so if he cares
in Texas? In Houston?
No. Because again, what happened off of the court, off of the field, overshadowed all of that. So
that's why he was so sore and had to get those massages. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. He had to get like 1,600 massages.
Right.
Because he was out there balling and he was sore. Okay?
And he had to get them from women that he found online and not from like a sports licensed masseuse, right? So you got all of
because his fiance wouldn't understand. He was so sore. So he had to get these women to give him these massages because his fiance would be like, "Why are you getting so many massages?" You know?
But nobody would have had anything to say if he was getting massages from qualified, certified people that were hired either by him or by the team. The whole thing doesn't even make sense. I don't even want to go down we far down, but most professionals have one or two people, three people max, right, that know their body, that know the type of competition and workouts that they do. You just letting rando masseuses rub on your body, and we supposed to take that seriously. But again, to your point, he ain't learned his lesson. He hasn't learned his lesson, and that's what I took from that. He should have been like, you know what, the boos were hard to swallow, but I've been out for 2 years. I want to prove to Cleveland that I want to be here. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to show you by my performance on the field. And now you got Shedeur over there like licking his chops. Shedeur waiting.
You know what, though, there has to be more have to be more players who are getting these massages, because it wasn't just him and Justin Tucker. I want to know. I need the tea on everything. These are not isolated incidents. I don't think. I think it's a thing. And Robert Kraft in the massage parlor. These are not isolated incidents. This is where the players are going. I need the real tea, because we singling them out. I need the real tea.
Saying is, hey, everybody, not everybody, but the rub and tug is a thing, okay? The rub and tug is a thing, and it's called the rub and tug.
Rub and tug.
It's called a happy ending. So, yes, there are plenty of people who enjoy a little extracurricular activities post or during the massage. That's not the issue here. The issue is consent. And then, two, he tried to say the reason why he was getting all these massages was because he was playing really hard. No, sir. No.
He was playing hard.
Bop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I just want him to shut up and play. Yes, I said it. I want him to shut up and play, and I want him
shut up and throw.
I want him to shut up and throw. I want him to act like he actually wants to play again. And the only thing that's going to keep people from talking about his past is if he puts some numbers up. Not to mention, a lot of women in Texas still feel like the NBA, that the NFL should have never put him back on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just, spend that cash. He got the money. And I think, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about like Lonzo Ball saying that he was so hurt when he realized that a lot of NBA players weren't really trying to win at all costs. And to your point, take your money and run. That's about $115 million after taxes, after all your fees. So he should be set. But I'm putting my money on Shedeur. And I think by November, Shedeur is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. So
these first, because they mentioned those road games, these first two games will be very pivotal to see. And we'll see. Time will tell. And I just don't think that he had it before he got hurt. He was going backward. So
yeah.
Hey, look. Hey, put back somebody in the corner, and they may come out and ball out of control. So we'll see. But Shedeur is waiting. He's got to do a little bit better too. So don't come out. Don't have all this hype and not live up to it. So
yeah.
But I believe in him. We'll see.
Do you believe in Deshaun or you believe in Shedeur?
Shedeur.
Okay.
I better not say Deshaun. I'm just sure she might jump through the screen on me.
Just playing with you. But you know what? I will say this. When we talked about your accounting side and the intersection of accounting and your love for sports, this for me is intersecting my love for sports, but also years ago I volunteered at SAPAC, which is a Center for Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention. So I feel like that's why I'm very passionate about this conversation, because I just feel like this is a classic example of where there's smoke, there's fire. And the reason why so many women hesitate to come forward when they've been a victim of sexual assault or sexual abuse, because people don't believe them. And beyond that, right, in this case, I don't see marrying someone who has had a number of allegations against them. So, Jilly, I know we don't give people donkey of the day, but I'm also giving Jilly Watson the donkey of the last several years. But
That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him. Um, yeah, accounting and football, financial statements. I know how to read them.
and, and sexual assault and awareness, I know how to read them too. My eyes. But
Yeah.
but I think, and I really believe this. You talk about like violence against women and abuse and things. Think for me, the thing that is just really disheartening about everything going on back to the W is I do really believe that we're getting to a point where all of the things that are occurring outside of the game are putting the women who play the game at risk. And that is disappointing, but I also don't know if teams, I hope the teams and the coaches and the league are not really are taking it seriously, because as we know, once things get to a fever pitch, once you start out with threats, what you know start out with confronting people, it's just a slippery slope, right? Until someone takes it too far. And I've been thinking about that the past couple of days. It's just like this needs to stop for the health and the safety of the player. So I'll get off my women's studies soapbox, which pretty
Before you
much.
get off of that, let me just say the culture has to be addressed. The WNBA leadership has to be addressed, and what they're not saying has to be addressed. Here's my prediction, and I want to give a huge shout out to Madam President Nneka Ogwumike,
Mm-hmm.
who announced her retirement. She's retiring at the end of the season. She's played 15 seasons. She's, you know, she's championship player, all-star player, you know, and she is the president of um, the 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 players in the players association, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not, or and she of the executive committee. I'm sorry, and she's retiring, and you know everybody I know is saying, is she going to be the next commissioner? And
Yeah.
she's not counting it out. She wants a break, but I could see her being the next commissioner with one stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
The commissioner is known to side with the owners. They
Mm-hmm.
work for the owners of the teams, and if they don't hold her to that or like make her do that and force that on her, I think she would make an excellent commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
She understands the players. She fights for players. They said, what was the hardest thing about the negotiations for the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement? She said one of the hardest things was fighting for people who would never fight for you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And I said, ooh, who's she talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I could guess who she's talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, she's very intelligent. Her and Shanae, her
Mm-hmm.
sister, they are very intelligent, basketball IQs out of this world. And Nneka is a Cancer, which is now I know why I like her so much. She's a Cancer, she's an introvert, she just wants to be home. But no, she's a great leader. That should be the next commissioner. Kathy's got to go, and Nneka needs to maybe take a year off, whatever you need to do, but she should be the next commissioner.
Yeah. And I
I'm
mean,
putting it out there.
Stanford grad, as you said, highly intelligent. But I do think that there is a sweet spot, right, where you can advocate for the owners, you can advocate for the league, and you can do what's right by players, right? Um, and I think it also opens up an opportunity for someone else to emerge on the player side. And I wouldn't put it past her that she's been grooming someone, right, this entire time, right, to become president of the Players Association. So, no, I'm with you on that. I think that would be a good look.
So I would love for Nneka to take this next year off, learn the business side of that leadership position, and then I hope that they name her the next commissioner. I would love to see that. So Carrie Champion threw out Allison Feaster too. She's a former player. So but yeah, so shout out to Nneka. I forgot to mention her when we were talking. You see, that's the thing. There are so many great WNBA stories, not just this season, but all 30 seasons, right? It's always overshadowed by men that are not fans and women that are, using their non-talent to, set up their post-career moves. And we overshadow so many great stories that are happening. The good thing is, I watch and I follow and I try to tune out the conversations about all the other stuff. And then we come here and we talk about it. It brings it back and it brings it back into focus. So I'm calling that we don't talk about Enes Kanter anymore this season. No matter what he does, why he was even in that stadium, no Enes Kanter, no Sophie Cunningham, who had like 0 points, 0.0 points, 0 rebounds. That because
and that's been a great trend on social media. People have been like, Sophie Cunningham said that we should talk about what's happening on the court. So let's talk about her 2 points. So no, I mean, like I said, it's just so much that's happening. Looking forward to. I know one of our favorite times of the year, which is U.S. Open. We talked a little bit earlier about the Cincinnati Open and about Tiafo and Coco making it to the finals. I'm looking forward to seeing what Taylor Townsend does this year. Shout out to Tay Tay. It's just to me, the U.S. Open, of course, is just like quintessentially summertime. The end of the summer. But what the other headline?
It was good to see Coco win against Jessica Pegula. It was good to see her win.
But I was laughing because your boy, I forget how to pronounce his last name, but he tested positive for cocaine. Nick on the male side. Do you know how to? Let me see. And I thought some people, Kyrgios, is that how you pronounce it? Australian tennis player. He had all the swag the past couple of years, was definitely moving up the rankings. I think it's Kyrgios. Karis was telling me how to pronounce it. But yes, it's like, dude, how are you a professional tennis player snorting cocaine?
Kyrgios.
Yes. How are you doing that, sir? You're not concerned that your heart is gonna bust?
Here's another thing. That's not an isolated incident. He's just the one that got caught. Come on.
So you
now.
think it's
these
athletes,
up there? These athletes be out there wild.
I mean,
but also, go ahead.
Yeah, I think people drink. Yes, I think people smoke hella weed. Yes, I would hope that while people are playing, they're not actually snorting cocaine. Do I think that people are probably snorting cocaine in the off season? Sure, or doing mushrooms or whatever. But did anybody ever heard of Lynn
accessing money? Accessing money. Well, they don't think it can happen to them.
What?
They don't think it can happen to them.
That you could die? They don't think they
They
can
don't think it
die?
can happen to them. Yeah, they don't think it will happen to them.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
And that's addiction. I mean, addiction is, they're not thinking about that at the time.
Well, I'm not a
Allegedly, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I mean, let me
well,
just get that
I'm not a
clear.
drug counselor, so I won't say that people who just be getting a bump on aren't suffering from addiction. But so that was the highlight, one of the highlights over the past week. But I'd like to see an American win the US Open. I feel like a few people have been knocking on the door, making it to the finals. I just feel like this is the year for Tiafo, Coco, even Taylor Townsend. Oh, and Serena is going to be playing mixed
Serena gonna
doubles.
win? That's all I was gonna ask you. Oh, she did say Serena. Hold on now.
I mean, I would love for Serena to win. Her and Alcaraz decided to pair up, mixed doubles. Hey, I would like to play mixed doubles with the GOAT, but um do I think they're gonna win? No. I mean, I think it's gonna take Serena a little while longer to get back into playing shape. Um, yeah,
She's 50.
she ain't 50.
You said a little while longer. She ain't got that much
No,
time.
I mean, a couple
No,
more
I'm just kidding.
matches. A couple more matches.
I love Serena. I love Serena.
Serena
Hey,
is
I'm just joking.
44. Serena is 44 years old. But I mean, I think she would always talk about the difference between being in regular shape and being in tennis shape, right? Asia Wilson says the same thing. Like, I have to play myself into basketball shape. So I think Wimbledon, right, was her first attempt at doing that. But you need more than one match to get back into playing shape. So I would give her 6 months of continuous play, but it's going to be exciting to watch. I mean, hey, if you
Yeah.
got your pick of a mixed doubles partner, get you a young boy, you know.
There would not be one person who would be mad if Serena won. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
We
people.
wouldn't be surprised if she didn't win, but we love to see her win. And so that's a given. That's the go. Um, there's some comings and goings. I mentioned a little bit about Klay Thompson. I saw um your reel the other day about Klay Thompson going to Miami. I don't think Klay will be. He doesn't put them over the hump where they're like, okay, that's the team to beat in the East. Nah, but you know, um, he can still come in and get about 10, 12 points a game. He hasn't averaged 20 points since 2016. So I want to say 2016. So,
I mean,
but
we're
you
not
know,
saying
they
we're
have
not.
some role players. He'll
Yeah,
come in here, but what I saw in Dallas, I mean, he's not like
you can. No, 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 no,
nobody should
no.
expect him to be, but um, yeah,
You
that
cannot.
was just
No, you
another.
cannot. No, 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 no. You're gonna have to run that back. You cannot discount Klay Thompson's ability to hit big shots when the game is on the line. Jen, you cannot discount Clay's ability to hit the big shot or to have big games. So I know you going for Philly, and I know you feel like Philly is coming out of the East, but I definitely think with Giannis and Bam and Clay and Tim Hardaway and Bobby Portis, it's a little bit more competitive. I just think it is. Philly coming out the East is predicated on Joel Embiid staying healthy, and that just hasn't happened. So you gotta put some respect on Clay's name and some respect on the Heat. They make it competitive. They make it more competitive. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
believe
I
this.
I
I
mean I,
cannot believe.
I'm
I
not
can.
I'm not I'm not seeing it yet. I gotta figure that one out. I'm not seeing that.
Okay. All right.
That's just me. That's just me.
We gonna watch and learn. I mean, yeah, cause I know, cause you're a LeBron Glazer, so for you it's like, oh, LeBron about to get his next championship, even though Embiid ain't played a whole season since Johnny was a whippersnapper.
But see, I'm picking New York or Cleveland over Miami. I'm not even, I'm not even.
I'm not saying that
I'm
Miami is coming out of the East. I'm just saying that the East is back. For so long, the West was light years ahead of the East in competition. And everybody was like, whoever comes out the West is going to win the championship. So I just think now you have a little bit more parity in
a little
the East. And it's a little bit more
one
exciting.
championship. One well, who one championship does not
No, I'm saying
dynasty East dynasty make. So
no, no, no.
I gotta see because there's still players changing.
Oh yeah.
So we'll
No,
see.
I'm saying more parity in the East. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
now
yeah,
the
oh yeah.
East is going to, just roll over the West in the next 5 years. I'm just saying that now within the East you have more competitiveness, right? So the past couple of years, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't watching any East games. But now,
Yeah.
like you said, you got Cleveland, they're strong. You got the Knicks, you got Philly, you got now Minnesota with the expansion is gonna be moving to the East. That's a young team. They're gonna be fun to watch. And you got, Miami. So let's give it up for the East.
I want to touch on
Mhm.
one thing, and then a closer. Um, your boy, and I don't know why he's your boy so much. Halliburton was mad because their opening game wasn't televised, and he felt like he's been out for 18 months, and that's so disrespectful that not only are they not televised, but they're on the road. It's not even a home game. Why does he think he's so? Why does he think he's such the man? Like
Well, I
who
mean,
told him this?
but again, he made it to the Eastern. He made it to the finals. He made it to the finals.
Okay,
They actually were one game. It was a game 7. I firmly believe that if Tyrese hadn't got hurt in that game, the Pacers would have won that championship over OKC. So he like, I'm back, baby. Now let me say, just for the record, that Tyrese is only my boy because my nephew looks like him. Okay? I have been trying to beg my nephew to dress up as Tyrese Halliburton for probably the past 4 years. He lives in Indiana. I'm like, dude, you dress up like Tyrese, that's gonna be the best costume ever. And he's like, yeah, TT, I'm not doing it. That's it. I feel like he's a little goofy.
good for you, nephew.
Um,
Sorry.
I feel like he's a little goofy. He's got a good heart. He's a very
Okay,
wholesome young man, but he ain't my boy. But I can
that's your
understand
boy.
it's my first game back. It's my first game back. I made it to again the NBA finals. I was one game away from a championship. He feels like it should be a little more fanfare. But what's going to be interesting is he's also probably comparing it to Caitlin Clark, being in Indy with Caitlin Clark. Like, I can't get one game, my opening game televised, and this
Look, he needs to go join Enos Cancer, okay? Because I mean, I've never heard anybody say that before. I think that's why he's not the Caitlin Clark of the WNBA. I'm sorry, Tyrese, stop.
no, but again, when you talk about
He's
body,
I mean, he's not the Caitlin Clark of the NBA.
no,
Like,
he's not.
stop it.
But when you talk about body of work, everybody was a proponent of her getting every single game right on televised, and she hadn't proven really anything. What has and I'm not trying to
Did
be
not
funny.
tell y'all. Did not. First of all, Caitlin, you can. I'm not even going to compare Tyrese Halliburton's popularity in the NBA to Caitlin Clark's popularity in the
That's
WNBA.
not no. That's not
No
what I'm
compare,
saying. That's not
no
what I'm saying.
comparison.
I'm saying you have the
She's gonna sell uh the tickets that get people out. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know.
but my it's not a what I'm saying is in that market. I'm not talking about holistic. appeal and popularity. I'm talking about in that market. Tyrese is saying, I've been here, I've performed, I was an Olympian, I led my team to the finals. That's what he's saying. I led my team to the finals. I was out, I'm back, and I can't get my game televised. My body of work in this market far exceeds her body of work. That's what I'm saying. So I could see him with a little bit of chip on his shoulder. It's the same. It's very similar.
They're in a row. They're in. So he's saying that the schedule makers should have made his first game a home game. That's what I'm trying to think.
Know.
His first game is a road game. His first game is a road game, and he felt like his first game back should have been a home game.
I can see that. I can see
that. National television, because I think they're in Memphis or New Orleans, one of those.
Right, I can see that.
Indiana versus Memphis, Indiana versus New Orleans. That's not a nationally televised game. I'm sorry.
But his game should have been
what
at
you
home.
did in your Indiana market.
But he should have.
Why?
Because I just said before he was hurt, he led the Pacers to an NBA Finals. He was one game away.
Was last year the year that he should have that their first game should have been a home? You're saying just because he took a year off and now the next year it should no. First of all, I told y'all they make these schedules with AI. AI made these schedules. AI don't know the talent Tyrese Halliburton.
Right. So Tyrese, you know what? I'm from Indiana. That is gonna be my boy. I want people to give him his respect.
Thank you for admitting that.
No, he wasn't my boy before today.
But hard in the paint for Tyrese.
Right. He wasn't my boy before, but he gonna be my boy now. I agree with Tyrese on this. Give me my home game. Let me get my
2 years later, give me my home game. 2 years later, give me my home game.
Yes, give me my home game. I've been out.
Okay.
I've been out. I led my team.
That's not how that works.
It is. Look,
I've never heard a player complain about that. That's why it was so shocking to me.
No.
But we're gonna let's table that. We'll come back to that. I do want to say one last thing. LeBron went to Philly to try to win a championship before he retires. Mm-hmm. Today, DeWanna Bonner was bought out by the Phoenix Mercury, and because I think this is going to be her final year. She wants to go to a contending team. They were just eliminated from the playoffs, so DeWanna Bonner is pursuing a championship before she calls it a career.
Where do you think she's going?
So there's been talk about her going to the Atlanta Dream, which with Bree Jones came back from her knee injury, but she went down the other day and hasn't been back in. So they need some height. They need some length.
That ain't gonna get her another championship.
They in the playoffs.
They in the playoffs. They ain't gonna give them no championship. If she won a championship,
not give them a championship, but it could make them more competitive when they're in their game. I think she would fit there. A lot of people were saying the Aces. I don't think the Aces have enough cap space to sign her. No, but she could. They may have enough. If they get rid of Bell, who's just sitting there wasting space, they probably would have enough. But yeah. So I'll be on the DeWanna Bonner watch and see what happens. Preseason football will be wrapping up, so we'll be talking about regular season. The Lions' first game, I think, is September 13th. So we'll be going into the home stretch when we come back from next week, and then we'll have a short break after that, and then we'll come back and we'll be straight into NFL season. So and NCAA season. So yes. Anything else before we wrap this up? Because anything else on Halliburton?
Yeah, give my boy his home game. Because he wasn't my boy. Give my boy his home game. He'll get it
next year.
But let me just say this.
Okay.
Tyrese Halliburton played in the Olympics and did not get 1 ounce of playing time. Okay.
Exactly.
Right,
okay.
But no,
which is why
no.
Get no.
No.
I'm listening.
And he had and he took it on the chin. But again, he was playing with NBA greats. this is a player, again, that took his team to the NBA Finals and was one game away from winning the championship. And he can't get a home game for his first time back in 2 years. 2 years later. That's disrespect, especially when you're playing either New Orleans or you said Charlotte. Come on now.
I don't think I've ever heard this before. I've never heard this storyline.
But you have heard players say, for Christmas, I want to be at home, or for Christmas, you have heard some players say that.
That's different. That's totally different.
At a certain point,
at a certain point,
players feel like they should be able to get a certain level of respect, right?
Tell us in the comments. I want to know, viewers, thank you for watching. I want to know, do you agree with KB that Tyrese Halliburton is kind of getting disrespected because he came back 2 years later?
And he on the road in New Orleans.
And his first game is not nationally televised with a parade. Or do you think, like, suck it up, Buttercup?
No. You got to get it right. I didn't say that it should have been nationally televised. I said that he should have gotten it. I know, but what I'm saying is that it should have just been a home game. Let that man get the love in the Pacers crowd after he'd been gone from 2 years. That's all I'm saying.
Let us know what you think.
Televised.
Let us know what you think, viewers, followers. And while you're at it, like, subscribe, follow. Let us know what you think. Is Tyrese Halliburton being disrespected by the NBA? Or maybe it's because he's in a small market team and they're just disrespected. But is he being disrespected or not? Just a yes or no in your comment. We might put out a poll for that. I want to know that.
Yeah.
So again, thank you. Thank you for watching.
And my indie animals, they need to show up. They need to show up in the poll. My indie animals.
Indie animals. Okay, now y'all got the indie. Oh Lord. Woo. I'm going hard in the pay for my Pistons, but because she going hard, I'm gonna have to bring it. So, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, send us messages to let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what you think about the episode, and stay tuned for next week. And we'll see you then. Until then, it's 2 aunties, 2 mics, all game. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks again for spending some time with us. This has been another episode of Aunties Talk Sports. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the show with your fellow sports fans. It really helps us grow our community. Have a question, a hot take, or a topic you'd like us to cover? We would love to hear from you. Email us at auntiestalksports@gmail.com or connect with us on social media at Aunties Talk Sports. Aunties Talk Sports is a podcast hosted by Jennifer Bright and KB Gaston. Find us on socials at jbright713 and at KB Gaston. Aunties Talk Sports is recorded in Detroit and produced by Danerco at Danerco on socials. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, 2 aunties, 2 mics, all game.